الحمد لله تعالى نحمده ونستعين به ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله تبارك وتعالى من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله تعالى فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. أما بعد، فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله تعالى، وأحسن الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم، وشر الأمور محدثاتها، وكل محدثة بدعة، وكل بدعة ضلالة، وكل ضلالة في النار. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم، وبارك اللهم على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. أما بعد، تركتكم البارحة والنبي صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم يزور سعد بن أبي وقاص في وجع قد أصابه، وذكرنا لكم أن ذلك من سنة النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم عيادة المريض. We left it off yesterday as the Prophet ﷺ in hadith number 6 of Ryaad Assalihin, the gate of Tawbah, the gate of Niyyah, the intention, where the Prophet ﷺ is visiting Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas because of an illness that was pretty severe, that he was actually on the verge of dying. And we said that, subhanAllah, that's precedent that the Prophet ﷺ set for us, a sunnah that he taught us, the fact that we have to visit our sick. And if you remember, we made a separation, a difference between Ryaada and Ziyara, and they both mean to visit, but Ryaada is used specifically for a person who is sick, and Ziyara is for someone who is healthy. And we mentioned a couple of hadith pertaining to the subject of visiting the sick. Hadith of al-Bukhari, خمس تجب للمسلم على أخيه, 5 things that are the rights of the believer over his brother. رد السلام, to return the greeting of peace, the salam. And تشميت العاطس, when someone sneezes, you say يرحمك الله. إجابة الدعوة, someone invites you, you have to accept the invitation and actually show up. وعيادة المريض, to visit the person who is sick. واتباع الجنازة, to follow the janaza of someone, to honor them. وحديث أبي موسى الأشعري قال صلى الله عليه وسلم أطعموا الجائع وعودوا المريض وفكوا العاني. You should feed the hungry and visit the sick and free the captives. وحديث رواه مسلم عن ثوبان قال صلى الله عليه وسلم إن المسلم إذا عاد أخاه المسلم لم يزال في غرفة الجنة حتى يرجع. When the believer visits his brother for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the person who is sick, he will be in the fruit garden of Al-Jannah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make you now from the people of Al-Jannah. وقوله صلى الله عليه وسلم فيما أخرجه الترمذي وابن ماجه وغيرهم من عاد مريضا أو زار أخا له في الله نادى مناد أن طبت وطاب ممشاك وتبوأت من الجنة منزلا. Whoever visits his brother for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or either he's sick or he's healthy, a caller calls, أن طبت, blessed are you and blessed is your path, and may you have the best places, or inherit the best places in Al-Jannah. والحديث الذي تركناكم ولم نكمله يعني حديث ثوير عن أبيه قال، والحديث أخرجه أحمد والترمذي وغيرهم، صححه الشيخ الألباني رحمه الله تعالى. قال أخذ علي بيدي قال انطلق بنا إلى الحسن نعوده. Said Ali took me by the hand, Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu took me by the hand and said, let's go visit Al-Hasan. Obviously his son Al-Hasan was sick. قال فوجدنا عنده أبا موسى الأشعري we found Abu Musa visiting Al-Hasan. فقال علي رضي الله عنه أعائد جئت يا أبا موسى أم زائر. So Ali asked the question to Abu Musa, did you come? And this will make the separation between the two, Al-Iyada and Al-Ziyarah. Did you come as a A'id or did you come as a Za'ir? Did you come to visit because you know that he is sick and you come to visit with the intention to visit the sick, or you just stop by to visit him? قال لا بل عائدا. I came to visit him because he's sick. فقال علي رضي الله عنه سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول ما من مسلم يعود مسلما غدوة إلا صلى عليه 70,000 ملك حتى يمسي. There is no believer that visits another believer that is sick in the morning except that 70,000 angels do salah on him. When we say salah, now subhanAllah, and salah from different entities means different things. When you have salah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that's a blessing and mercy from Him. But when you have salah from a malaika, it's that they are making supplication for you the whole time. So 70,000, imagine that, 70,000 of the angels of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are making supplication. Now you have to understand that if you make supplication in a time where al-malaika say Ameen, like for example, when you make supplication for your brother when he's not there. But Hajj Usama is not here, or Brother Jad is not here, say, think about them and say, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless them. May Allah make it easy for them. They're not there. There's an angel right there that Allah ta'ala puts, that sends specifically for this dua. يُؤَمِّنُ ثُمَّ يَقُولُ وَلَكَ بِالْمِثْلِ. He says, Ameen, وَلَكَ بِالْمِثْلِ. And to you, the same, subhanAllah. And the dua that where the angels say Ameen, know for a fact that it's a dua that Allah Ta'ala will accept. Now imagine it is the malaika themselves that are making dua for you. 70,000 of them, around the same number that goes around the Al-Bayt al-Ma'mur, around the same number, they're the ones making supplication for you from the morning until the afternoon. وَإِذَا عَادَهُ عَشِيَّةً إلا صلى عليه 70,000 ملك حتى يصبح. If he visits late in the afternoon towards the evening, then 70,000 of the angels of Allah will be making supplication for that person until the next morning. Ya Allah, look at them. And subhanAllah, these supplications, they either will be accepted by Allah or they will fill your records of good deeds, or these are supplications that you will find for yourself on the day of reckoning, waiting for you, subhanAllah, as an investment, subhanAllah. ثم قال صلى الله عليه وسلم وكان له خريف في الجنة. كان له بستان في الجنة. And on top of that, he will have a garden in the Jannah. Now imagine, ya ikhwa, that subhanAllah, you have eternity to live, you have complete health, you don't need to sleep, you don't get tired, you don't get old, and, none of the negatives. And every time you do one of these things, Allah Ta'ala builds He prepares another garden for you, where you have some fruits that you've only heard of the name, but the taste is not going to be the same, subhanAllah. Imagine having eternity and that much health and appetite where you can eat. Subhanallah, the dweller of Al-Jannah enters Al-Jannah and there's 70,000 angels waiting for him with different plates of food. He eats from the last one just like he eats from the first one. And you don't get full, you don't get bloated, you don't get, subhanAllah, you're not worried about your weight or your cholesterol or any of that. And subhanAllah, and it still keeps tasting the same, or it keeps getting better and better. The taste keeps getting better and better. And how do you discharge all of that? It's misk that comes out of your skin. What are we talking about, subhanAllah? Two kind of lives that cannot possibly be compared. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make you enough from the people of Al-Jannah. وحديث الترمذي عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه قال صلى الله عليه وسلم وكان صلى الله عليه وسلم يجلس مع أصحابه يحاورهم يكلمهم يسألهم قال صلى الله عليه وسلم من أصبح منكم اليوم صائما. Who from amongst you woke up today and he is fasting. قال أبو بكر أنا. Abu Bakr said, I am, Ya Rasulullah. قال فمن تبع منكم اليوم جنازة. Who has followed the janazah today? Abu Bakr said, I did. قال فمن أطعم منكم اليوم مسكينا, who fed a poor person, meaning who gave a charity today. قال أبو بكر, and Abu Bakr said, I did. Subhanallah. قال فمن عاد منكم اليوم مريضا, who from amongst you visited someone who is sick? Abu Bakr said, I did. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم ما اجتمعنا في امرئ إلا دخل الجنة. يا الله. يعني especially, subhanAllah, the Prophet said, if these things, these deeds are gathered for a believer, meaning in one day, except that he will be from the people of the Jannah. He will enter the Jannah, subhanAllah. So look at this, four deeds, they're not that difficult to do. Especially not that we are, for example, in Ramadan, where you were fasting anyway, so you got one out of the way. So you have 3 left, subhanAllah. You look for their janaiz all the time. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you and I a good ending. So you attend the janazah, then you visit someone who's sick in the hospital or someone that is sick at home, and then you come to the masjid and you put something in the box. Very easy, subhanAllah, and you got yourself this fadl that the Prophet ﷺ told us about. These are very easy ways for us to save ourselves from the hellfire and from being from the people of Al-Jannah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make you not from the people of Al-Jannah. إذا نرجع للحديث. جاء النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يعود سعدا ابن أبي وقاص. Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم came to visit Sa'd. أن سعد إني قد بلغ بي من الوجع ما ترى. يا رسول الله, I reached from, or I've been afflicted with illness to the level that you can see. فهذا يعني سبحان الله إذا قال سعد ذلك فهذا يعني أنه بلغه من الوجع ما هو كبير, ما هو عظيم. If Sa'd spoke that way, that means that he was feeling pretty bad and he was on the verge of dying. ثم قال أنا ذو مال كثير أو كبير, كثير أو كبير. وهذا كما تعلمون شك من الراوي. When you have in a hadith 2 words that are similar to each other, that means that the narrator of the hadith was not sure which one was said. Is it kabir or is it kathir? And of course kathir means it is plentiful, it's a lot. Kabir, it's a big size, subhanAllah. So they both can be used for this particular meaning, but the narrator of the hadith is not sure which one was used, so he put both of them, out of just to convey the trust. من الأمان. هذا يعني أن الرجل له مال وافر. Man is very wealthy. And think about it, ya ikhwan. Did we say yesterday that Sa'd was from the people that migrated from Mecca to Medina, and they left behind everything? They lost everything. So what happened, subhanAllah? What happened? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when you do things for His sake, He will replace you. He will always replace you. So subhanAllah, it did not take long for Sa'd radiallahu anhu to become wealthy again after he moved to Al-Madinah, subhanAllah. لم يقل الله عز وجل في أواخر آل عمران في هذه العشر الآيات العظيمة التي كان النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يقرأها كلما استيقظ من نومه. These 10 tremendous ayat at the end of Al Imran that the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم would recite every time he wakes up from his sleep. And subhanAllah, if you remember what we did a khutbah about these 10 ayat and the tremendous meanings that they have. قال الله عز وجل من ضمن ما قال في هذه الآيات فالذين هاجروا وأخرجوا من ديارهم وأوذوا في سبيلي وقاتلوا وقتلوا. So the ones that migrated for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they were kicked out of their homes, because many of the early believers, they were kicked out of their homes. وأوذوا في سبيلي, and they were harmed for my sake. وقاتلوا وقتلوا, they had to fight and they were killed. لا أكفرن عنهم سيئاتهم. سبحان الله. لا أكفر بالتوكيد. I will most certainly have their sins expiated. ولو أدخلنهم جنة. The same language, subhanAllah. I will certainly allow them to enter al-Jannah. Jannat. Not one garden, but gardens. تجري من تحتها الأنهار. Underneath which rivers flow. What kind of rivers? The same kind of rivers we have here? And the ponds, subhanAllah, where the ducks are swimming and fishing? Is that the same rivers? The water is not like the water. And it's not just rivers of water. It's rivers of milk and rivers of honey, and rivers of every kind of juice and nectar you can think of. SubhanAllah, يفجرونها تفجيرا لكن ليس كذلك يا شيخان. يفجرونها تفجيرا. The dweller of Al-Jannah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make you learn from them, will have a little staff while he's walking. He will start thinking, I wouldn't mind having a little peach juice river right here. And he will strike the ground with his staff, and then يفجرونها تفجيرا. It gushes forth. But it gushes in a way, it's abundant, but it doesn't drown him. Right? It doesn't harm him. It gushes, and subhanAllah, the laws of physics are either different or inexistent. It gushes forth, he can drink from it anytime he wants. And similarly, any kind of flavor or juice or kind of fruit that he thinks of, he can actually just think it and wish it, and it will hit the ground and it will gush forth, subhanAllah. This is a Jannah that we sacrifice for, and wallahi, it is well worth it. تجري من تحتها الأنهار, underneath which rivers flow, ثوابا من عند الله, as a reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for the ones that they migrated for His sake, they were kicked out of their homes for His sake, they were harmed for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this should make all of us think, when you are somewhere and you clearly look like a Muslim, and you see people have a strange behavior towards you, they mistreat you because of your name, they mistreat you, they have used a double standard in dealing with you. That is nothing compared to what the early Muslims had to endure. This is full contact, in your face kind of harm. People dragged from their feet and dragged in the desert, scorching desert heat. People putting rocks on their bellies in the desert. People being killed for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What we are going through is actually nothing. People giving you looks. Okay, sometimes, subhanAllah, I go to stores and I go like this, and I get looks, I get people, but subhanAllah, it is nothing compared to what the early Muslims went through. Whenever we fall in a situation where we are about to get angry because of this or that, because of the behavior of somebody, just think of the early Muslims. And 13 years, they were ordered never to retaliate. SubhanAllah. That's why we should never retaliate, unless you are in direct danger and you have to protect yourself. But SubhanAllah, when things are just behavioral and verbal, you just let it go. Or you find a way to reply in a way that you are giving da'wah. Because you should remember, you are a carrier of an amana, you are a carrier of the message from the Prophet ﷺ, and we have to be worthy of it, subhanAllah. ثوابا من عند الله والله عنده حسن الثواب يا Allah. Yeah, this one is left open to tell you that Allah, there's a lot more where that came from. This is only like a little glimpse that Allah Ta'ala is giving you in the Quran, but you have no idea. ولا تعلم نفس ما أخفي لهم من قرة أعين جزاء بما كانوا يعملون. A soul that could not possibly know or imagine what was concealed for them as a constance of their eye. What is the constance of the eye? Something that will make you very happy, something that will make you very pleased. This is what the kind of things that Allah Ta'ala has concealed for you in the Jannah. All you have to do is do a little sacrifice and be patient. Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala will please you as you pleased Him in this life. Allah Ta'ala will please you in the hereafter. May Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala make you enough from the ones that always do things that are pleasing to Him Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون. سلام على المرسلين. الحمد لله رب العالمين. جزاكم الله